Dear all, when you are going to use quotation marks, you have to be very careful about capital letters. As I have already mentioned before, that when you are going to use quotation marks, you have to start the letter capital. That means your first letter will be capital. When you start giving quotation marks, be sure you are using capital letters. It's very important to start quotation marks with a capital letter. Suppose you have two different sentences. Suppose you are talking about split quotation. That means you have two parts or more than two. You have to be careful about your sentences because there will be first part or even second part, and the first part will be using capital letter and it will be also using quotation marks, and in the middle there will be other sentences, but that will not be related to speaker's thought or even the writer's writing. That is why you are not putting any quotation mark. But just after that, maybe there is a split sentence or another sentence related to the speaker's thought or even the writer's thought. That means you are going to apply quotation marks. But you have to be very careful about your second part of the sentence because you started the first part, it was a split quotation. So you started the first part with a quotation mark and of course with a capital letter. But if you think the second part of the sentence, it's not related to new sentence, so you can start with a small letter because it's a continuation. Okay, so you already started it, and at that moment, at the middle part of your sentence, there is no full stop or any kind of punctuation marks like comma or even semicolon or even exclamatory sign or even question mark. But be sure your second part, if it does not have any break or any pause, you are starting the first line from the second part of the sentence, as it's a split quotation. So you are starting the second part of the sentence without using any capital letter. If it's a new sentence, then you will be able to use capital letter. That means you will use capital letter if it's a new sentence. And of course, one thing you have to remember, suppose the sentence starts with my friend said, and after said, after the word said, put a comma. And last but not the least, this is very important part. Sometimes you forget. That is why I am making you to be remembered, and to make you remember, the most important thing is when you end the sentence. Suppose the quotation marks, suppose as I have already mentioned before, what a beautiful bird it is. Suppose the sentence ended with an exclamatory sign, with an exclamation. So after exclamation, use the last part of your quotation marks. But make sure you are not using any full stop or any kind of question mark or even exclamatory sign after quotation mark, because your expression ended up with the expression. It doesn't mean that after quotation mark you ended up with the expression. That is why you have to be very careful about ending up. When you ended your sentence, be clear and be specific that you ended the sentence with full stop or even a comma, or even it ended up with an exclamation. But be careful, after exclamation or after full stop, you are using the last part of the quotation marks. That means you are closing the quotation marks. It's very common because we use quotation marks in direct quotation. But when you use indirect quotation, we do not use any kind of quotation marks. I have already mentioned for short words you are going to apply quotation marks. So already you watched the previous video, it was related to quotation marks, and already you know how to use and in which way you are going to use underline. But make sure When it's all about printed works, that means it is going to be printed or it's all about printed works, you are not going to underline it. You have to write it like italic or italic form, like you already know about. If you talk about, I am very fond of the book and the name of the book is Harry Potter. So if it's related to printed works, you have to make it underline Harry and Potter. Both words will be like, italic or italic form. But if you write it in your copy, you have to be careful by using underline. We often use quotation marks to just, separate two words. Or sometimes someone is getting confused, that someone is saying that I'm really tensed writing these kinds of words. Or suppose someone is saying that I'm in trouble, or I don't find any difference between there and there. That means THERE and THEIR. Someone is saying like this. So if he or she is saying like this, that means they or he or she wants to show the differences between there and there. That is why they are using THERE in the middle of the quotation mark, and after that THEIR in the middle of the quotation mark. That means they want to see the differences, or even they want to make these words more special and more specific in front of others, or even from the rest of the sentences. It has to be more prioritized. That's why they are making it different and they are trying to show differently. That is why they are giving quotation marks. Okay. And finally, I want to mention that I have got some scripts where some errors occurred because some people or some students got confused whether I will be able to use two quotation marks in one sentence or not. Yes. Suppose you are using two different things. Suppose you have got different sentences and it's like related to single quotation within double quotation, and within this you have got underline, using underline as well. So how will you use, or what will you do? Suppose the sentence is like this. I'm just going to start. My friend said, comma, bring the book Harry Potter tomorrow because I am watching a movie Ice Age today. Full stop and inverted comma. That means quotation marks closed. Check it very carefully. I have already used the name of the book, or even suppose I used one of the name of the movie. So what will you do? The name of the movie or the name of the book already mentioned. You are going to underline it, and already I have mentioned that if it's not related to the writing, if it's related to printing praise or printing work, you have to write it italic or italic. You have got one sentence where you have to use quotation marks and single quotation marks, and besides this you have to underline. What will you do and how will you do? Let me explain. Suppose your sentence is like this. My friend said, comma, sing a song from your favorite movie and the name of the movie. So what will you do? Sing a song. My friend said, you applied and you put a comma. After writing my friend said, you put a comma. And you started quotation marks. After this, you started quotation marks with a capital letter. Sing a song. That means sing, the first word. S will be capital letter. Sing a song. And my favorite song is Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round. Suppose this is the song. Wheels on the bus go round and round. So if you talk like if it's like a poem or even a rhyme or even related to song, you have to put quotation mark. But how will you do? Already you started sing a song. So sing a song started with double quotation. And wheels on the bus go round and round. As a song, it has to be related to single quotation. And it ended, wheels on the bus go round and round. And you put single quotation close. So you started wheels on the bus go round and round with a single quotation and you ended up like this. And after that you have to write more because the sentence did not stop, did not end. So it started with sing a song, wheels on the bus go round and round, and give me the magazine. So if it's related to the magazine and if the name of the magazine is here, just underline it. And if it's all about your writing, just after the name of the magazine, underlining it, just after underlining the name of the magazine, give a full stop and close the quotation marks. So this is all about quotation within a quotation. That means double quotation starts with someone's speech or someone's writing. And after that, if we get short words, we are going to use another quotation marks. But you have to use single quotation because you started with double quotation. And end up when it ends. Like well, how did it end? It ends with full stop or even a quotation mark. It's like related to, what can I say? Question mark. So after question mark or after full stop, close the quotation marks. And I hope you got my point. It's all about quotation marks. These are very important points. That is why I'm sharing, and I got some wrong scripts. I got some errors in the scripts. That's why I shared it. Hope you will be able to write perfectly. And as you know that quotation marks and punctuation marks are very, very important. And your sentences will be perfect. And it will be very neat and clean. And it will be understood very well. And hope it will be very helpful to make your preparation for the exam, and not even for the exam, but after the exam you will be able to remember how will you use punctuation marks appropriately. Stay fine everybody. Take care.